Hi, ladies and gentlemen, you all are welcome on board the Real Talk Show today. And on board the Real Talk Show today, I am with Mr. Tata Elvis. You're welcome on board the Real Talk Show.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure for me to have you here today. I know you all have been waiting to get another episode to him. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit tight, enjoy this episode while I go on a journey with Mr. Tata Elvis. It's a pleasure to have you here today. I'm very much happy. Please, you already mentioned your name before, but I would like you to give us more details. Who is Mr. Tata Elvis?
I am a media practitioner. I have some background. I work with print media organizations like the Guardian Post newspaper, a Municipal Update, the Rambler in Boya, the Post, and other newspapers.
Wow.
So I have a print media skills. Also, I have worked for some radio outlets, and I'm an MC currently, and I also train around public speaking. Aside that, I work for non-governmental organizations where I operate as a communications officer, and I'm also a teacher by profession, and I facilitate the learning of English, like IELTS and other things. So that's just me. I am a lot in one.
You're a lot in one, for sure. That must be a lot of skills impacting in one person. Do you mind drilling us a little bit, your educational...
Oh, okay.
work?
All right. Actually, in the domain of education, I teach at Bada International College, and I also teach at British College around Carrefour Régie. That's at Camtel. I teach at British College, and what I actually basically teach is helping harnessing learners and enabling them to understand that the heart of education is the education of the heart. So my concern is to make learners understand that we don't just teach you to be a classroom person, but to be someone who can be able to furnish your ideas outside the classroom.
Okay.
That's the reason that for which I am a facilitator. I want to impact life, impact communities, and make a change in the narrative.
All right. I'm happy that we have people like you doing all of this, putting things in place to actually make people understand. I'm going to ask, do you see the economic of today like favoring people who want to step into your domain? Is it going to take them a lot, or is it going to take them little? Is it going to take them connections, or what would be your advice? People that want to get into your kind of lifestyle, your domain.
Thank you, T4. I just said a while ago that the heart of education is the education of the heart. And by this, I mean that we must first of all try to inculcate values. By this, if we have to get into the nitty-gritties, I will want to say it plainly, that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. These are things that have been said by great philosophers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau in The Social Contract, Montesquieu in his Esprit de Loi. They have spoken about this, about the society, and that there are always going to be these differences and these changes. A lot of times I would think that people can always do what they want to do wherever they are. It's not about the political bottlenecks, the economic bottlenecks, or social bottlenecks. A person who is purpose-driven, who is goal-oriented, will always have a way out of difficulties. This is to say, when you interact with people, when you network with people like me, now I'm networking with you, I'm connecting with you, you're putting me on the spotlight. A lot of things that I would not have been able to do if I was in my own closet. But now I've networked with you, somebody is going to listen to me and say, hey, but this guy, I think he is good. He has something to offer. It would not have been possible without me networking with you. So society is going to be possible if people share dreams, have shared values, they interact, they cooperate, they collaborate, they assist one another in good times and in bad times. If I have a dream and I see someone who is better, mentorship comes in. I will be able to look up to that person and say, hey, I see this guy, he's in Cameroon and he's surviving in this kind of domain. It means that if I work hard, I can become like him. Or I see that person, he's doing like that, he's doing like this. And I'm sure that a society where we do like this, where everybody believes in themselves, believes in their goals and their objectives and work at it, using the right path, using the right mentorship, you'll always get your dreams done. You can be here in Cameroon, but the dream is elsewhere. But it's by doing little things here that tomorrow can become a better version for you.
Okay.
Perfect.
So if you know something, or you are aspiring to learn something or to be something, and you see somebody that is already doing it, you can network with that person, get close to the person, seek for mentorship, advice, and every other thing.
Sure.
All right, Mr. Tata, that's a wonderful one. What do you think generally about AI? Is it helping? Is it going to help, or is it going to create problems?
All right, let me put on the casket of a writer. I put on the casket of a writer, and I think that if I have to put on the casket of a writer, AI helps and AI also destroys. So I'll look at it from both angles. I'll look at the context to show how AI helps. AI helps to fashion and shape maybe your expression. But AI will not give you what you have not asked him. So if you are not also good, AI will not give you what is good.
Means you need to be a critical thinker.
You must be critical, and you must be able to debunk or kick against some content that AI provides. AI is just a search engine. When you ask it a question, it will have to go memory lane, go very far, hectare, scatter, look for content that resonates. That resonates with what you have asked, which is already content others have already produced and left on the internet. He just does the search and brings them to you. If you ask about fufuko and jama, AI will go and tell you where it is commonly eaten or where it is commonly prepared. So you see that AI goes into what we have already provided for him on the internet space. In that case, it is good, it is helpful because there are some information that you cannot readily have at your beck and call. But now, in another context, AI is not helping things. For job seekers, people who want to go out there for international fellowships or training, you need to pass through an application process. And there is an AI check engine. Also, because the people who have put up these strategies, this Gen Z generation where we are in, they do this and then they still have a checker for it, which means that they understand that even though it is going to be useful, they also bring up mechanisms to be able to check. And when you apply for certain things, they advise you that please ensure that this content you are bringing up is original content, that you should not bring up content that is artificial. So in this case, you see that it has a twofold. When you are applying for something, for example, when I'm applying for every conference, especially conferences that I'm selected for, there are always conferences that I don't use any search engine. I use my own ingenuity, my skill, my write-ups, and I write it my own way. And that way, you are passing through and to go to the next level, not because you were the best, but because the content provided was original content. To use search engines, you just put 2 minutes, they'll give you everything you wanted. You just edit it, but the balance will not be the balance of an original content. And they'll put it in the search engine and they'll check. So AI has come to help to some extent. To some extent, it is also destroying. So it's about how we manage it. Because in this world, nothing is totally good and nothing is totally bad. It's about how we manage both extremes.
Okay. So the reason why I say I pop up this issue of AI is because I've seen a lot of misinformation out there coming from AI generated content. And at the end of the day, you don't even know who should we be trusting, who should we be listening to. Or because believe me, Mr. Phenomenal, you can get up one morning and you see your image somewhere doing something terrible, all generated by AI. Of course, we are here in Cameroon. We have seen it time and again where you get up in the morning. Let's take, for example, you see a picture of a responsible, great man out there doing funny things. And you're like, this AI stuff, should we promote it or should we kick against it?
If I have to add something to that, Mr. T4, I want to say that AI is more of a curse than a blessing. Because to say that I see the head of state of Cameroon with a funny AI-generated image about himself doing something like you said, it's deteriorating and making the society not very good. And this is a catalyst for things like misinformation, hate speech, fake news, and disinformation, malinformation, as you want to put it. This is not going to help the society in any way. A lot of problems we are having around this world, around our communities, around the country, is because of problems relating to fake news, misinformation, malinformation, and hate speech. And hate speech is all drivers that come from the use of AI. This AI, they say, okay, he's walking like this, he's doing like this, that person is like that. It's not about who does what, it's about the constructive use of these instruments that we have to make the society better. Anything that mars the society is not useful, but anything that helps the society to grow to a higher height is very relevant, is very important for the society. I think so.
Because, you know, at a certain point, sometime last month, there was this news outside about a popular artist that the parent of this artist did something that was not all that good. And you know, along the line, people talked about it verbally, and then only for me to get up in the morning, I realized I started seeing AI generated videos of how the person was arrested. You know, I saw a video that was generated. The person was arrested in Nigeria. Later on, another one came out. The person was arrested in Côte d'Ivoire, and then another one came up. And you know, it immediately kicked into me, and I was like, oh, this is where a lot of things are going to go wrong when it comes to AI. For sure, from my own take, I know that AI is something that is really out there to help us. Mindful of the fact that you have the right mindset to make it work for your own good. There are also people out there that also have the wrong mindset, that are also wanting these AIs to work in their favor.
If I should cue into what you're saying, the general public should not think that fact checking is a concern for media practitioners, or it's a concern for academicians, or it's a concern for a particular group. Fact checking is useful for every citizen. Everybody has the right to fact check any information you see.
Yes, when you see, you check it over and over again.
You should not do armchair receival. Don't just put your hands on the chair and then anything that comes to you, absorb it and you refill your stomach. No, not like when you see a content on social media, you just copy, you share. You share without verifying. You should fact check. A video, there are apps that can help you. The digital space is very good because even though information can be false, there are still apps that can help you to identify whether they are true or false. For example, when there were unrest in other parts of the continent, you will see something that's happening in Somalia, they say it's happening in Cameroon. Something that's happening in Cameroon, they say it's happening in France, and so on and so forth. You should be able to know those apps. Like, for example, when I want to verify or fact check a video, whether it is veridic or it's true, I'll have to use Invid. Invid is an app that helps you to be able to identify what happened, where it happened, who orchestrated it, and so on. If it's a picture, you have apps that you can use to do, so that it tells you the camera, who snapped it, at what time. So these are things that basic things that everybody can be able to access. They are all in the internet. These search engines are there for our good. Let us use it judiciously.
Okay. To every information that is out there, there is a reliable source for you to check and check again to confirm the genuinity of that.
Very correct.
Yes, of that information. Okay, because just like you mentioned, there are a lot of people out there and they have this habit of when they see something, especially these people that are chasing cloud.
Yes.
They don't have time to verify news before they post. Once they see it, okay, it is news. Let's put it out there, and that's how it's going to be. And then we start feeding people with a lot of misinformation. People will start going left and right, doing things. At the end of the day, you just hear somebody say, I'm doing these things because I heard that. I'm doing these things because somebody said. I'm doing this because I felt that.
Yes.
So guys, please, just like
it's always good to verify.
It's good to verify. Okay, Mr. Tata, thank you very much for enlightening us on that. Let's also take a look a little bit at the society, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the society these days, you realize that a lot of things are happening out there. And I mean, going to sleep these days and getting up and seeing yourself alive the next day is a miracle. Okay, so this brings me now to the factor of a lot of things that are going wrong. What do you think is actually pushing the young youth? Because like yesterday, I watched the news on Equinox television. I mean, there was a lot of bad news coming from kidnapping. We see somebody who is hanging on the trees. We don't know what it is. We see girls visiting guys that they meet on social media. At the end of the day, the news goes sour. I mean, I just look at it and I feel like it is something that is we need to address it. It's a call for concern.
Yeah.
So on platforms like this, the most we can do is advise and give out tangible information to people that they could use. So beginning from my own side, I'm going to say I really feel like I don't know if I should say the youth are failing themselves, because Mr. Tata, if I look at it clearly, I see a lot of opportunities out there where youth can actually utilize them to make money, put some change in their pocket and all the rest. But if you look at the news these days, it is either one ritual killing, one accident that is related to this. I mean, a lot of things happening. So at this moment, I would like us to let's take it from a basic point, right? What is your feel? What do you think is the reason that a lot of youths are engaging into so much wrongdoings?
First thing, I'll just say that it's the problem of the heart. It's a problem of the heart. You know, anything that happens, it starts with the heart. If it's a conflict, it starts in the heart. If it is the problem of a fight, it's in the heart. If it's a problem of theft, it's in the heart. Witchcraft is in the heart. Everything, jealousy is in the heart. So the heart is where everything emanates. It's a problem of the heart. And the heart can be just greedy, just wants to have all. It's a problem of the heart. It could just be maybe trying to level up and live up to standards like folks are doing. I have friends, they are riding in Vitz, they are riding in Toyota, this, Mercedes-Benz and stuff. So I want to live up to that standard. It's a problem of the heart. Egocentrism, selfishness, the desire to have all at the wrong time. People don't understand that it is necessary to do hard work and merit and reap the fruits of what you have had. And people don't understand that working is also a pleasure for yourself. There is dignity in manual labor. A lot of people don't understand that. There is dignity in manual labor. If you work, you should eat. If you don't work, you should not eat. Even Bible recommends it. There is no food for a lazy man. So how on earth, in our days when I was much younger, they say youths are the leaders of tomorrow. But I see today, there is an irony. Instead, when we were youths and they told us that we were going to be leaders of tomorrow, we got to tomorrow and then the padlock and the key was taken away from us and it was changed. But in another epoch now where we find ourselves, youths now are gradually becoming multi-millionaires. They are getting rich supernormally. And I ask myself, but what has changed the trend? 10 years or a decade back, 2 decades back, 30 years back, when we used to sit, we understood that, okay, the future is ahead. And as we are going ahead, working very hard, suddenly there's a change in the narrative that people now who are not even educated, people who are not anything, just because of social media too, they have now changed the narrative. They have become mega rich. They are owning edifices, structures. You ask yourself, how? A lot of times, like you said, spirituality sets in, supernatural power sets in, magic, witchcraft. This is the use of supernatural powers to be able to conquer or to occupy, to take control.
To overcome.
And when you say a word like witchcraft etymologically comes from which means power, and craft, which means conquer. So witchcraft means the power to conquer. People will have to go the extra mile to get extra powers to be able to achieve what they have in mind because of their egocentric purposes. They are not much into the consequence or the repercussion of what happens to them after that act. They don't care if their lifespan is going to be shortened. They don't care whether accidents are going to befall them. They don't care about anything, but their point is they never ever want to go broke. I mean, sometimes poverty is a lesson. If you are poor at some times or you're broke at some times, it's a lesson for you to re-strategize. A lot of us, we want to have money, we want to eat money, we have to choose what to do with money, but we forget sometimes investing money. And we depend on salaries, and salaries become a problem to us in the days that follow. We should be able to make money, yes, but let's always learn to invest and not depend on salaries. Salaries will always go away. Wages will always go away. But what you have invested is always constant. It's always constant. So I say in a grosso modo, in a summary form, the heart of man is what pushes them into this problem. We should be able to change our minds, change our hearts, re-examine ourselves, and realign ourselves so that whatever we do, we have a safe conscience to our Creator and to the one who made us to live for His purpose. That's just the take about society today for me.
Okay.
You can ask.
All right, because from my own direction, right?
Yes.
I see a lot of factors that are kind of like pushing these youths to indulge in these fraudulent activities, or however you may term it. And you made a point that is very much relevant to me. Everything from the soul beginning comes from the heart.
From the heart.
And I also want to say most of it, not coming from the heart, also has something to deal with how you were brought up.
True.
Because, you know, a lot of the times, if you are coming from a direction where you were brought up and they didn't take some time to sanction you, to understand that there's a difference between bad and good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we may be judging from the heart, not knowing that the doctrine from the beginning was faulty.
Yeah.
You see, so there are a lot of factors that actually are touching when it comes to this particular environment or this particular topic. So now let's talk about something that is also disturbing the nation these days, okay? You see a lot of videos out there these days, people are shouting, remember Bangala, remember Bangala, you see. And these things, I want us to talk about it because it's fast becoming something that people need to pay attention to it. Not paying attention to it as in being extremely careful on your own part, but also paying attention to it because we have later on found out that a lot of these people that were shouting all of these things, chanting, oh, my this is missing, my dad is missing, at the end of the day, we have reports that are saying that these things were not even, these things may have not even escaped from the beginning before coming back later. So I feel like this is something that we should also put out there in the public. Why are we putting it out there in the public? Because we have seen a case where mob justice is the case before final judgment.
Yeah.
Only for you to realize that somebody you have tortured, almost beaten to a point of death, for you to realize that the other person that was saying this thing is not true. I don't know if you have seen the news, but
yes, a little boy who was doing his business selling crayfish and fish.
At a 2D. That's the latest one that just occurred.
Yeah, a Cambe boy, I was told from the sources that I gathered. So my question is that the forces of law and order on earth, if a complaint is brought, why don't they verify before they apply the law? That is the problem with me and Cameroon's forces of law and order. At some times I ask myself, is this just a way to say that they are timid? They don't master their deontology of their workspace and their work scheme? You don't just take people and then you put them into jail without finding or verifying, and later on deriving news that whatever was said was false. Somebody saying that his manhood is missing, whereas his manhood is there. You don't verify.
Don't verify.
When you verify after you have locked up somebody, what do? You are now languishing the other party now into jail because of failed work done. If you had verified the information and ensured that everything that was said was true before executing the law, it would have been different. So to me, it's only a problem of incompetence at some point. Incompetence can also destroy the nation from top to bottom. Don't always look at people at the top and say they're incompetent. At our even basic level, are we competent? So it's about one strata to another. Everyone should work at their competence, work the way they are supposed to do it.
Okay. Because for me, I would say to everybody that is watching out there, we should take it upon ourselves and know that this is a serious matter. I usually say address everything as a matter of life and death, especially when a human is concerned.
Or is involved.
Yeah. Yes, because when you see what people are doing, when they just lay hands on you and they say, oh, this is the person that touched me and my manhood, I can't find it again. You see a lot of people coming in with every sort of anger. And you know, to belong to a society that things are not even moving properly to begin with, everybody's angry.
Sure.
So everybody's just looking for they're just looking for the slightest opportunity to unleash that anger on people and all the rest. So my personal take on this is, please, for those of you that are watching, if you are out there and somebody says the manhood is missing, please tell that person to check and recheck again.
Yes.
Because from every news that I've gotten out there, verified news, the story always comes out that at the end of the day, when these people were rushed to the hospital, a quick checkup on them and every other thing, they had everything intact. Nothing ever changed. So it also now brings us to the issue of spirituality to combine this together. Could it be that there's a possibility where these people have something that when they touch you with, or they speak a word upon you, or casting a spell upon you, you may actually feel like at that moment there is nothing on you? I don't know if you feel that is possible, because I think like it could be possible too, because we don't just want to judge this from one direction and be like, oh, nothing ever happened. What if it actually happened, and maybe if the person is apprehended and then it comes back? Do you think?
A lot of times I've been thinking about it too, but I think that we should not kick against the fact that people use supernatural powers. Sure. It's a possibility. People use supernatural powers in our world today. And for example, come to think of a situation where someone is hypnotized.
Yes, for sure.
Someone who is hypnotized. They hold you by the roadside. They start talking to you. Say, you have someone in your house. You have this. You have your laptop. You have this. You consciously go to your house, remove every dime you have, remove your laptop, and you go and hand it over. 20 minutes after they have gone, you come back to your consciousness. That's to tell you, it's mystical. There's something mystic behind it. So a lot of times it could be a similar scenario. You never know what is happening. Maybe it's a problem that affects the mind that pushes you to start thinking differently, or you think that it's not there, or you think that it is there. I don't really know how much I can say, because you can only explain what you have experienced. You can only say what you have lived, according to the existentialist. So I think that knowledge is something that is powerful. A lot of times when something is about to happen, apply knowledge, apply wisdom. You'll be always able to come out of it. Apply tact in everything you do. If you don't do that, we will end up in chaos all the time. I have said powers are there. Physical, supernatural, and mystical powers are there. But you must be prudent, you must be careful, even though one can never tell. When something is about to happen, you are not the one. Just pray for guidance from the from the God who is all supreme, who is all powerful, to protect and preserve you. That's all I can say. Because even though I've never experienced any of such, I don't pray for it either. But we pray that everybody should be prudent and careful, and then depend on the power that is supreme over other powers.
All right. So this is in light to say, when you get up in the morning while leaving your house, call on the supreme being.
Yes.
To protect you as you go out, as you come in. Let his blessings be upon you, and
protect you, and
the shield of protection and every other thing.
Yeah.
Because truly, without you also believing that the spiritual is real, you definitely come across a lot of difficulties. Because believe me, from my own point of view, I say a lot of things these days are actually spiritual.
True.
And it takes a lot for you to actually understand. And it may even take you to another realm to even see some of these things and get that consciousness, like, oh, I need to be conscious about this aspect of spirituality. Yeah. All right. So talking about the aspect of spirituality, Mr. Phenomenon, it brings us to our next topic. Mr. Phenomenon, do you think in Africa we need more churches to shout hallelujah, amen, or do you think we need more factories? And
that's a very, very technical question. You see, there is a problem. Even though I don't want to talk anything against the church, but I want us to look at it from this perspective. What would it be like if every African is self-sufficient? Are you sure we are going to be having these churches flooded the way they are? It is because we are living in a period of high unemployment. Countries are heavily indebted. We are living in poor living conditions. And all of this making inflation to be at its apex, making life topsy-turvy. It's a total travesty. It's a travesty because when we are all depending on the state for everything, nobody is enterprisal. The little enterprises we have, they believe that it's to the pastor that it should go, or that it's to the church that it should go. And a lot of times, I have a church just beside me. Monday to Sunday, there is music in that church. I ask myself, when do these people work? When do they go to work? When do they go to hustle? And that same Bible where we always preach from says that there is no food for a lazy man. Then what are we talking about? Are these people not lazy? Is it about praying 7 days every day, or 7 days in the course of the week that is going to make God to be showing his face on you?
Or maybe the people that come there Monday to Sunday, they may be under salaries.
I accept so if that be the case, but I really think that that's not fathomable. I just think that we must be realistic in Africa. While Europe, in Form 3, a child in China, the handwork that they do is these bulbs that we put in our rooms. The handwork from 3. Students in China, they do calculators and do that. They do choronko phones. But here in Cameroon, brother, it's sacrilegious that a PhD holder cannot make a bulb. A PhD holder who is defending electricity cannot do any of such thing. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. We are not saying that all hands are equal, but if you want to show us that you are up there, leave the standard. PhD holders without portfolio. I ask myself, so what are we talking about? Let us get to the basics. Let us be enterprisal. Let us build industries. Let us employ our people. Let's not depend on the state. That's why sometimes you see that the state can be defunct. Why? Because the state will now take its own company and sell to individuals because they see that they themselves are not competent. What we call privatization. The state will decide to take his property and privatize and sell to private individuals to be able to run, because they themselves, they are not self-sufficient. Because through them now, the state will be able to tax those individuals and make money in return. It's because the state too is failing. And when the state is failing, we want to depend everybody. You want the head of state to give you employment. You want the head of state to give you healthcare. You want the head of state, but you do nothing about it. You don't work to enhance in the state. Let me bring you back to someone that I love very much, Ujamaa, Julius Nyerere of Tanzania. He had a philosophy called Ujamaa. Ujamaa socialism to him meant that we should have a community where nobody owns land, a community where there is villagerization, a community where everybody works for the collective good. Nobody's a loiterer, nobody's idling, everybody's working very hard, and we bring it at the foot of the sovereign who takes it now and share it in what he calls the Commonwealth. If we all are hardworking, we will not have these difficulties we are having here. If everybody leaves their home, steps out. I have children, when you teach them, they finish school, they are coming back to you to say, please, sir, I want you to help me to write an application for a job. I mean, A-levels. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. It doesn't speak well. University students want to look for a job. They're asking for the format of an application letter.
Yeah.
What were we doing? What were we doing?
So do we blame it on the individuals that they went through school didn't go through them?
Of
do
course.
we blame it on the teachers that they didn't handle it well? Do we blame it on I don't know, because when you say things like this, for sure there are a lot of factors that
come in play.
Yes, that kind of affect it. Okay.
Yes.
But this issue of spirituality, as in church, where I was talking about, is actually the aspect where you just mentioned people go to church from Sunday to Sunday.
Yes, they pray day and
Pray
night.
day and night, hoping. And let's also go back to that same Bible you talked about. The Bible also makes me to understand that while you are praying, you need to take action, because it says faith goes with works. So if you are having that faith, believing in God, at the end of the day, you are unable to lift up something to change a position to see that, okay, this could generate income, definitely is something that I don't understand how people do it. And now, coming back also to the issue of church, right? From a perspective, I'm not going to say I don't blame church. I blame some churches a lot for the type of mentality that our youth are having today. A lot of churches out there have played a big role in destabilizing the memories of young youth. Why? Because when a church keeps preaching about prosperity, and there's never a time you hear a church preaching about hard work, how to go out there and get it, what you should be putting in place. So it becomes a problem in the society. It becomes a problem. For me, I figure it out as a problem in society, because I don't understand how you speak prosperity for a year without speaking on how to lay down something that can lead to that prosperity. It's where I have a problem with the church. Initially talking about God and every other thing, for one, I believe there is a supreme being. There is a God out there that governs the universe, the laws that we were taught as little children. God created heavens and earth, the Garden of Eden and all the rest and all of that. But then you realize that even in the same Genesis, when God created the gardens and all the rest, it was also stated in that same Genesis where it says, man, from now henceforth you will till the soil. But why then are the churches of today not talking about the aspect of tilling? Why are they not talking about the aspect of putting things in place? So it brings me now to the topic where I think, let's discuss it. Do you think these men of God out there, right? Do you think they think about their pockets, or do you think they think about the well-being of the people?
All right. That question is relative. In as much as some men of God use the resources of the church for the growth of its church and its members, but I think that the majority of the churches, their pastors today are out for money making. They are money mongers. They are more interested in enriching their bank accounts and their pockets. I'll just take a very simple example. There are churches where you go to those churches every Sunday, the pastor never repeats his dress. Never repeats his dress, but their faithfuls are repeating their dresses every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
You see, there's an irony.
A problem.
It's an irony. The pastors look sweet, succulent, articulate, eloquent, speaks well, charismatic, and then they are shouting Papa, and so on and so forth. But the faithfuls in that church, they are wearing shoes affected by friction. Shoes are torn, trousers are torn, but it's their offerings that they are using. A lot of times I always talk about some big churches, like, I don't want to call names of churches, but they come around, they take native lands. When they have taken native lands, they set up institutions there, set up schools, set up churches, set up hospitals and stuff. But do you know that the natives who own that land, they do not have access to
that
those
same
amenities?
schools, hospitals,
It's a problem.
and all the rest.
It's a problem. These are things we should question. You have a school, you set up that school. It's the natives that give you the land to put up that school. You put up the school, their children cannot go to those kind of schools because they are super expensive. You have medical treatment, they cannot be able to treat themselves in those hospitals, but you took land from them to put up those hospitals. You are doing all of these. At some point, I ask myself, but where are we really heading to? Who is fooling who in this context? Who is fooling who? Is it the church that is fooling the people, or is the people who have allowed themselves to be fooled? Because in a normal sense, it could be the big churches that we know around Yaoundé, it could be the big churches that we know around Cameroon, but I think that the church is sometimes to an extent exploitative. When you exploit the people, how do you expect them to survive? So at some points, the church's concern should be about enhancing and enabling the livelihood of its faithfuls, so that they themselves are also proficient, enabling them to be able to give to the society back what the church has given to them. Because the church should be teaching people about the Great Commission. Go into the world, make disciples of all nations, and baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's the Great Commission. Go in the book of Acts, you'll see it there. In Matthew, you will see it there. The church's concern should be about transforming people to the saving knowledge of the Lord Jesus Christ. If that is done, you cannot transform people when they are financially broke. A mindset that is poor will not accept Jesus Christ. A stomach that is hungry will not accept Jesus Christ. An unemployed person will be trying a way forward to be able to get a job, to be able to make ends meet. And that is how it is. We should be facing the realities of life. Life is not easy on anybody's side. Some people who are broke, they will just go now. You see, 2 days after they have formed a cell transforms into a church. A church becomes, members are flooding, and they are making supernormal money. They are building their own edifices. Church members are renting. And those are the things we should think about. Are we asking ourselves a lot of times, we should walk the walk for which God called us to work. We should not walk our work, because a day is coming when everybody will give a balance sheet of what they were doing while they were here. To him who did the work he was called for, he shall be recompensated by the mighty one who said it in his book. So to me, pastors, they should be aware. Faithfuls themselves, they should be aware. They should have the spirit of discernment to be able to discern that I am doing the right thing. This is the right way or the right path I am following. It's not always about the pastors. The faithfuls themselves, they are not using their critical mindset. To be critical is not just left for the people who have gone to school and had PhD. Even a first school leaver can be critical. That's why there's a difference between being intelligent and being wise. King Solomon did not go to any school, but he was the wisest king. Even until today, nobody has ever been as wise as Solomon. Solomon had 100 women under his care. If you want to take 1,000 women under his care, these 1,000 women, it means that in one year, he would meet with one wife just once. You see?
The wisdom
was supernormal. Was supernormal wisdom.
All right. So, Mr. Tata, thank you very much for all of this you have said. For sure, it's something that we need to sit upright when it's a topic that we need to sit upright about when it's brought up. People need to understand that it's not only about church every day. You need to put down something. You need to bring out something in form of sweat.
Yes.
So you could get the sweet. Okay.
Yes.
So, Mr. Tata, once more, thank you very much. I'm just like I said from the beginning, I'm super delighted to have you here. Thank you for the wisdom and knowledge you have been pouring since ever you got here. So, Mr. Tata, now, since we have said all of this, let's dive a little bit into Mr. Tata as a person right now. So, let's talk about Mr. Tata. So, Mr. Tata, basically, I hear about Mr. Phenomenon a lot. I hear about Mr. Phenomenon a lot. And when I hear about Mr. Phenomenon, also judging from the fact that I see you on a lot of platforms out there, I really want you to put yourself out there in the public. Tell us exactly who Mr. Tata is, what we may look forward meeting you in future doing, what we may call you for if need be, and all the rest. Tell us more about Mr. Tata.
All right. Thank you very much, T4. Like you said, I'm Tata Elvis. I am going by the the alias or AKA Mr. Phenomenal. I have worked a lot more with print media organs, which means that any content that has to do with writing, anything you want to do, it could be a motivational letter, it could be a CV, it could be a project, it could be anything you want to write, you can get to me because I have an excellent writing skill. Aside that, I am also an MC. I think that I've had at least a decade of MCing events, and I've MC'd events from cultural events to seminars to symposiums to conferences to any weddings, receptions, and what have you, birthday parties and stuff. So any event, and when you are looking for an eglantine and maybe a bilingual MC, you will always have to contact and consider me as your first choice because I do it well, and people have had testimonies to say that they are motivated the way I handle their events, and I'm sure I'm very good at it. So if you want to have me in your events to MC it anytime, any day, anyhow, just know that I'm always available. Mais pour ceux qui m'invitent à leur événement, sachez-vous que je m'exprime très bien en français. Je m'exprime en français très bien entre 6h le matin et midi. Quand il est déjà 13h, mon français trouve souvent les lacunes. So that's how it is. That's how we roll. Anytime you want to invite me over, do well to invite me. And T4 here he has been doing a lot of work, a lot of good work, shooting events, capturing good images, sound technician that he is just multi-dimensional. And I think that the partnership we have built together and the fact that you do these things, it means that we can always have this synergy to work together. So anytime, anyhow, both of us, we can always change the narrative of everybody's activity, event, interview, or what have you. And to add to the fact that I am also a facilitator, you could be looking for the possibility to learn English, to speak English well. I think I can help you, especially French learners abroad, at home. If you're a French learner and you want to learn English, I can always be at your service to enhance and upbeat your English language speaking skills. So that is me in a nutshell. I also work for NGOs. So if you're in an NGO setting and you want to work maybe around misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, fake news, talk about volunteerism, you want to talk about peace education, you want to talk about peace journalism and all those facets, I can always be there to enhance the work you do. For startups and for starters, I always have ideas on how we can start up together and share meaningful conversations on how we can push these dreams together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tata, aka Mr. Phenomenal. Thank you very much. Guys, you all heard man, the top BB grammar, the way I don't know how to add that again, I don't know how to add again. But then, one thing I'm going to tell you for sure is, speaking from my personal point of view, I have been on a couple of sets with Mr. Phenomenon. For sure, he's a good MC. I think whenever he handles any occasion, at the end of the day, you see a lot of smiles on people's faces and all the rest. Sure. I've been in an occasion where I was acting as a photographer. He was acting as an MC. I've been in a point where I've hosted an event, equipments, and every other thing. And working with him is always something that gives you joy, because at the end of the day, his communication skills are top-notch and all the rest. So, guys, please, we are going to be putting Mr. Tata's information on the screen. If you feel like at any moment you want to work with Mr. Tata, just like he mentioned, don't think that your event is too small. One thing I usually tell people is the best point of your event as a memorable part to people usually starts from the MC.
From the MC.
If your MC is not jovial, if he is not bilingual, if he cannot communicate with people, get to bring the vibes out of people, then at the end of the day, the MC, the MC is just going to be dead, and then the occasion for sure is going to be dead. But when you have an MC that is vibrant, a young and handsome person like him, nagging from left to right, engaging with people and bringing out the vibes in people, definitely at the end of the day, you are going to have memories that you forever live to celebrate them. And we actually want to appreciate you. For those of you that are still watching right up to this moment, we want to appreciate you all. Please do not forget that we need your support as well. Liking, sharing, subscribing, telling a friend, tell another friend. And if you actually find what we do here in the studios of T4 Production interesting, please feel free, contact the numbers on your screen, get to us via email, tell us, book an occasion. We can come to you, okay? If you are not able to come to T4 Production for your interview, your podcast, review, business talks, whatsoever,
Event coverage.
yes, contact us. We will come to you, okay? That's what T4 Production is all about. So at this moment, Mr. Tata, we are rounding up, and I would like us to round up with generally a word of advice for the youth out there, okay? What will be your advice for the youth out there to see that they are doing things rightly, getting the money rightly, avoiding being hooked up in a situation where you find yourself wanting one point or the other? What do you have to give them?
Very quickly and without taking much time, first thing, have a dream. When you have gotten the dream, identify somebody who has walked that dream. When you have identified someone who has walked that dream, take counsel or take advice from that person. When you take the advice and the counsel from that person, pray about it. When you pray about it, the clock is ticking. Tick says the clock, tick, tick. What you have to do now, you can now do quickly. That's my advice to people.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Phenomenon. Thank you very much. Just like Mr. Phenomenon made mention, what you need to understand as a young person out there is this. For every path that you are about to take, be it creating a bulb, be it making a telephone, be it making a calculator, even as far as making a glass like this, what you need to understand about every aspect of life is that there is a path that has been laid already for you as in creation upon that thing. Unless you want to create something that has never existed before, then you at that moment are laying the path for the people that are going to be coming next to you. But if you're out there, you want to write a book, there is a path and a set of laws that governs that activity. All you need to do is follow that path, seek for advice, and then concentrate on it. That's why he said, set a goal. Because one thing that I tend to realize these days is a lot of youths fail, not because they were meant to fail. It's because they are trying to do something that is already existing, but they are trying to lay a new path as in doing that thing. Definitely laying a new path as in doing that thing is never wrong, okay? It's not wrong. It's right, but then follow the path that has been laid before, do that thing and succeed, then revise that thing that you just did and see if there is a new path for it. Because a lot of people have failed just by saying, oh, I know I can do this thing, I'll do it my own way. And at the end of the day, your own way tends to be a way that is leading to nowhere. Yeah, so at the end of the day, guys, just like you heard from Mr. Phenomenal, and just like you heard from me, Tama4, aka Mr. Ray, I'm telling you for sure, do not be discouraged. Go out there, talk to the right people who are doing the right things for sure. Get advice from them. Plead with these people to mentorship. Take advice from them. Guidance and protection is very important. Any domain where you find yourself. There, we have finally come to the end of our podcast today. We are super grateful that you have watched us right up to this moment. So until next time, guys, we truly appreciate you. We love you all. Stay connected. Stay tuned. Do not forget, the watchword for today is follow the path that has been laid out for you. So, Mr. Phenomenon,
thank you very much.
Once more, I'm super glad that you're here.
Thank you.
We are come to the end of the show today. Do not forget, like, share, and subscribe on board The Real Talk Show. Until next time, have a blessed day, and we're out.